Okay, so hi, this is Sean from Ghostchant, and I'm here with Josh Scogin from 6 to 8. So, what's it like? What's this tour been like so far for you guys?
So far, it's been great. We played tonight. Will be our 5th show, and every night seems to get better than the last, and we've worked out all our technical difficulties now. Because I have a lot of pedals to make what I do work, and first several shows were mainly just kind of focusing on getting those to work over here, and we're having to borrow equipment and stuff. So so we're now in that area where you just kind of glide through and get to enjoy the show a lot more and get to just focus on the things that are important, like having fun at the show and interacting with people and stuff instead of trying to make your stuff work. So it's nice, quite nice.
Awesome. First real question, if you could describe 6 to 8 in 3 words to a newcomer, how would you describe them?
3 words.
I'll just let you guys just hold this.
3 words would be humans playing rock and roll. And we'll pretend rock. Humans playing rock.
You can hyphenate it.
There you go, yeah. Rock and roll, it's 1 word. That's how I'd explain it.
So this is your first real big headlining tour, and it's in in Europe. What's it like to have your first big headline tour in Europe, and what was it that made you guys want to have your first big tour in Europe and the UK and stuff?
Well, it's our first headlining tour ever, really. Basically, we Heavy Fest hit us up and about playing that show, and I had played it back in the Chariot, really enjoyed it, so we tried to make it happen. And basically, just to make ends meet, we booked some shows around it. Basically, I just wanted to play Heavy Fest so bad that we were just like, well, if we book some other shows around it, it'll make more sense, and we can actually, not lose a lot of money to play it, So that's how it all kind of came about. But being over here, I actually don't like headlining. I like supporting other bands. But obviously the UK has always been quite nice to me and my former bands and such. So if we're gonna do it anywhere, it's great to be here.
Okay. Cool. So in your previous bands, you just spoke about your stage presence was very in your face and raw. Has being in a duo changed your stage presence and how you interact with the crowd, or is it?
It hasn't changed the mentality behind it, but obviously it's changed. There's not 5 guys on stage. There's only 2. I'm stuck behind a guitar. He's stuck behind the drums, but the mentality's still there. I've always tried to erase the feeling that you're in the audience and we're up on stage and look at us playing our music. It's more about the camaraderie of everyone and trying to figure out how to make everyone involved and everyone a part of it. That mentality's still there. We're fairly brand new still. We've only done a couple tours, so we're still evolving that and figuring out what that looks like and everything. But for the most part, it's still very, it's still very real, you know what I mean? Very raw, very real, and very, it's, every show's different. We don't have a set list. We don't play the same song twice, and we'll have longer parts and different parts. We just kind of wing it as we go, and I think the mentality behind it is still very much the same and very much what I believe in, and I think the live show is what, when I was a kid dreaming about being in a band, that's what it was. It wasn't recording a record or signing contracts or, any of that stuff. It was playing a show. So that is still there and alive and well. But as far as obviously visually, it's a lot different, and we we're still exploring on what all that can look like and making that feel good for us as well as everyone else.
All right. So, like, has being in a smaller band or a duo been something you've wanted to do for a while, or is it just something that's was maybe brought up after the Chariot finished and you just thought it might be a change? Or
playing guitar is something I've always wanted to do. Play guitar while on stage. I've always wanted to do that. I never thought about being in a duo, honestly, until pretty much when when we decided to call it a night in the Chariot. I knew I wanted to do music. I knew I wanted to keep touring and tour a lot, and stuff. And so the more I thought about it, I had different ideas and different things, and some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. But it wasn't until I decided that this would be just two people, that's when everything else clicked, and that's when everything else started, the puzzle started to feel right and feel like they were meant to be there. But yeah, it was definitely nothing that I had ever thought of before until, it basically just, touring is my comfort zone. I've been doing it for most of my life, so like touring feels comfortable, and I was just trying to figure out a way to stir it all up and to make it feel fresh, feel new, make it different, and the moment I thought about doing the whole two-piece and making everything like that's like nothing I've ever done before. I'm used to 5 guys in the band, and then 2 or 3 crew dudes, and so that is when everything started to feel like, this is what the next step's supposed to look like, and that's when I started getting really excited about everything. And I think the music fell into place after that. I think everything sort of hinged on that concept, and then and that's when it became very much alive.
You spoke a bit there about it, but how did the writing process for 6 to 8 differ from your other projects like Norma Jean or Chariot?
Well, this is way different. I had a couple songs that I already had, but other than those couple of songs, I wrote everything pretty much a week before I went into the studio. The Chariot's farewell tour ended in November, like late November, and I called up Goldman, who records all our records, and I basically made one of those rooms, one of the rooms in the studios I kind of made into my room, and kind of put up a little Pro Tools kit and just and basically wrote all the songs right then and there. And Michael, my drummer, would literally hear the song like that morning and be recording it that night. And so it was very impulsive, very spontaneous, very much kind of like a one-way train, where if we wanted to just change an idea, we just went with it. We never looked back and was like, well, is this better than that? Or we just kept going. If we wanted to turn left, we turned left. If we wanted to, add a whole part, we just went with it, And there's one song in particular that's a testament to just kind of being impulsive and stuff. Is it track 7? Track 7, our producer he had a phone call, and he took the call, and we were recording something else, and while he was on the phone call for a little bit, I still had the guitar around me, and I was just playing it, and I literally wrote the main riff of track 7, and as soon as he got back, I was like, we need to record this, like let's bail on what we're doing right now and just start recording this, because I'm feeling it. And so we literally just spontaneously right then and there just was writing the song as I was playing it, and I put down some rough guitars just to give Michael the idea, and then Michael laid down the drums, and then we woke up that morning and didn't exist, and then we went to sleep that night. There was a song there, so the whole record was very, very impulsive like that, and I feel like in the Chariot we had a lot of those tendencies, but we would practice for months before we went in the studio, and made sure everybody had their part down and different things. Having said that, we would, if we felt like there was a better idea out there, we would just go with it. And it was impulsive in that regard. But this was definitely, I walked into the studio with, 2 2 songs and wrote them all about a week before, and then I just had to stay ahead of the curve. Basically, as we'd record 3 or 4 songs, I had to make sure I had a new one in the catalog, ready to go for when we got done. So yeah, it made for a very kind of raw, impulsive record, which I think is okay for rock and roll music, so.
Okay, so yeah, you were speaking about track 7 and not like a specific name, and every like band you've been in, the names of the song titles have been like abstract or something. They've been like weird. Like, is this something that you do like on purpose, or is it just something that you feel like comfortable doing, like not going with a general idea and just doing like your own feelings?
I feel like it all started with the idea of that every band I've been in is not like for the masses, it's not supposed to be liked by everyone. So to contrast sort of what they do in the mainstream world of like, they take the chorus and then they name the song that, so that when I'm talking to you about this song, even just saying the words, all of a sudden now it's stuck in your head, and it's all part of the big formula to make millions of dollars, So I think the original concept in my mind was just to be the opposite of that. I have nothing to do with the mainstream or money or any of that stuff. So that's what it all started when I was like 17 or 18. But like now and ever since then, I always feel like song titles just get left along the wayside. I feel like people hopefully spend time writing a song and spend time writing lyrics that mean stuff to them or whatever, and then they just call the song whatever. And for me, I always felt like the titles themselves are also another form of art going into it all. So whether the song titles all together make up a name or a word or a sentence or a phrase or a poem, or individually they stand alone, but they're obviously way different than they're obviously way different than the chorus of the song if we have choruses. But like, so I feel like the lyrics is part of the art. I feel like the song titles can also further what you're trying to say with your art. The CD artwork is obviously part of the art. The music videos, everything, and I feel like with song titles, they mean as much to me as the cover of the album, And so instead of just throwing those away and just calling it, 2 of the words in the song lyrics, might as well, make that part of the art as well, and spend time and try to, think of something that sort of moves you or pushes you or makes you feel something or whatever. So that's kind of the mentality behind them anyway.
Okay. Cool. Like for your first album, the whole like Regret Not, I just love that. I don't know why, but I just love how, and even back to like the first Norma Jean record, the song titles are just, I don't know, they're different, but they're
thanks.
They're really good, yeah.
They mean a lot to me, so they and sometimes they mean what the lyrics mean.
Yeah.
They don't, but again, I feel like they're their own art form.
Yeah.
It's able to be explored.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is with the stuff that you've done. So like, you did a few years back a solo project called A Rose by Any Other Name, which is like the best name for a band ever, by the way.
Thanks.
Is there any chance you'd be going back to that, or was that just something you had to get out of your system at that point in time?
Right. It's a total side project. The Chariot was my main focus, and anytime I had free time or whatever, because I would make those songs. Sometimes they just come up, but it's a total side project. Obviously 68 is my main focus, and it's what I'm putting all my heart and soul into now. And I have 2 songs actually recorded that I haven't put out yet for personal reasons. But I think I'll probably release something next year with them. But again, it's a side thing, so it's always going to be very slow moving and very, it's not on a label or anything, so I don't have to pop off a record every 2 years or whatever. I just do it whenever it naturally kind of comes, and yeah, it's just kind of something on the side that I do enjoy and I do get excited by. But whatever my main focus is obviously the thing that sort of lights my fire, and this is just kind of stuff that sort of like is also interesting to me to make and to produce and stuff. So
okay, yeah, like I said, like that album was really good. Like the song Georgia, it's amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
And it was nice to see like a different side. Like you have the whole screaming, like shouty, and then you have like singing. It's nice to see that like there are still some people in the heavy music like scene just now can sing properly instead of just like screaming like a
Well, I like exploring the idea of passion. With the Chariot, obviously it's easy to, you got the horror chorus, you got loud guitars, you're screaming it. It's easy to show passion. But I know solo artists with just an acoustic guitar and singing that I feel like so passionate about, and so I like exploring. With the Rose, it's like how can you make something sound passionate with just the lyrics? The bare necessities. And so it's quite nice to feel those out in different ways.
Okay, and last question. I started off with a newcomer. Well, theoretically, how would you describe a 6 to 8 live show to someone that's coming to the show tonight that has no idea about 6 to 8, that's been dragged along by somebody, and how would you like go up to them and just describe what to expect?
I don't know what to expect. We as far as musically, I mean, I said that earlier, but as far as every show is different. I don't know what to expect. We don't have set lists. We'll play a song 12 days in a row and it'll be completely different every single day. That's what's magical about the live show. In a live show setting, when a band goes on tour, every variable that can be different is different. Every single one, the lights, the stage, the size of the room, whether it's a weekend or a weekday, whether people are getting off work or it's the summer, or if it's cold outside, if it's hot outside, like everything's different. The only thing that's the same with most bands is this set list that they've practiced at home where nobody's there, or in the rehearsal space where nobody's there. Nobody's, to me, good on them. That's cool that they can do that. But for me, it's like, how do I know what tonight needs to look like? If I'm sitting at home practicing, we can do our best, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, we don't know if it's going to feel like starting off with a slow song or starting off with a fast song. So as far as like what we do and even which songs we play and even what those songs are going to look like, every show is different. And I think people who sometimes when it's very magical, when just we catch an eye or something, or we go into like a free jam or something, like sometimes it can be real magical. It can really kind of light everyone up, and it'd be hard to explain to someone that you didn't plan that. But there are some times where it's a complete train wreck, but I feel like the times where it's a train wreck, at least maybe there's some sort of element where the people understand that, like, hey, this was tonight's own living entity, whereas it's its own thing, and that's what I feel like, if you come see 3 shows, they're going to be 3 different shows, and for me, it's and for Michael and me, it's like, it's more, it keeps it fresh for us, and it keeps it to where we're not, faking anything or just kind of, just sort of like muscle memorying everything, and more importantly, it's like, like when we're in the States, it's like, if you see us one night and it's just kind of rough, it's like, well, at least you know that, like, you didn't get the same exact show that Chicago got, and the same exact show that Atlanta got, and the same exact, just this cookie cutter space bar sort of like, thing on the, and so I think people kind of understand and kind of appreciate that to some degree, but whether they do or not, for me and Michael, it keeps things fresh and keeps things, where we can believe in every show and feel like, you know, the good ones and the bad ones are at least their own entity, and it makes, I don't know, it just makes more sense and kind of keeps us on our toes a lot better, and makes, you know, keeps it fresh for us, you know. So yeah, you just have to come out and see, and then experience it that way.
Well, thank you very much. It's been awesome interviewing you guys, and I can't wait for tonight's show. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, but yeah, thank you very much, and catch you guys later. Yep.